like a real fucking story at all. But here, let's start with this. Rising is now going in on all in on the lab leak theory. You almost have to see to believe how depraved this is, indistinguishable from facts and friends. So the thing about the lab leak theory is that it's not an unreasonable fucking theory. The problem is when motherfuckers take that to the next level and they're like, yeah, that's why it's China's fault. It's like, well, okay, like level 4 labs have the identical protocols all around the fucking world. So good luck. We have a bunch of similar labs here in the United States. And the reason why COVID fucked America wasn't because China released it upon ourselves. It was because we didn't take the precautions. You know what I mean? Now, that's one thing. But the second problem that I find really funny about the lab leak theory is that, like, they immediately tie it to, China did this on purpose. So are you basically saying lab theory isn't that far-fetched, but I mean, holy shit, some of these people are calling for nuking China or some extreme shit like that? Well, the irony is those people are saying COVID is fake. The same people that said COVID is fake are now turning around and being like, no, COVID was real and China released it on purpose. It's like, okay, so they're not fake. So it wasn't fake at all. So you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking moron who said it was fake.
Media decided that they wanted this answer, and they sought the rationale to put on these aggressive headlines about this is a discredited the theory, this is debunked, it's a conspiracy theory, et cetera, and now it looks more and more likely that this is actually what happened.
Like I said, it's not just media failure. This is real stuff. Like, in terms of the policy implications of this, it's immense going all the way back to March and April. We could be living in a totally different country if the coverage on this had been different. And it might sound exaggerative.
Why? How? I need to know. How would we be living in a different country? Let's say it 100% with a 100% certainty was leaked from a lab. Okay? How would we be living in a different country, dog? Like, how? What would be different? You think, like, I'm so confused. Like, what would have Trump done differently with regards to, like, dealing with the motherfucker? These people didn't even believe COVID was real. Trump didn't believe COVID was real. Or rather, worse, he knew COVID was real and was a legitimate problem and yet purposely acted like it wasn't a big deal. How would the fucking lab leak theory make the way we dealt with COVID any different?
Yo.
Also, he fucking talked about it all the time. He literally talked about it all the fucking time. It's not like Trump stopped saying that it was, like, leaked from a lab. He said it all the time. Like, oh, God, I need to hear what's going on here. I just don't understand. And I said this even back then. Where I was like, guys, it doesn't matter. Whenever people were like, this is China's fault, like, everyone would come into my chat and be like, this is the China virus. Remember when I used to have, like, the China bad banner above my head whenever I covered the story? Because everyone was like, China virus, this is China's fault. It's like, okay, it's China's fault. So what do we do about it now? And it always blew my mind because people are just like, okay, I got my word out that it's China's fault. Okay, what do we do now? I don't know. It's still fake. Like, it literally does not change anything. It's so fucking strange to constantly be like, the idea of China mistakenly releasing it calls for absolute dire consequences without proof. No one is to blame. Like, what? What are you going to do to China, dude? What are you going to do? Like, there is negligence. There are accidents that happen. Humans are the weakest fucking link in every security system, no matter what. But, like, okay, you blame China. What's next? A hot girl with bangs to brighten your day? What? No, I'm not gonna.
Where is our state-mandated Aussie?
What are you gonna do, bro? Maybe it was China testing biological weapons. That's fucking psychotic. That is psychotic. Because biological weapons are only as powerful as our security, our countermeasures. Okay? That's the point. That's literally the point I'm making. And I made this point over and over again last year during COVID. If you were here during my pandemic coverage, you would have heard this from me every single day, where I talked about this every single day, where I was like, okay, it's a biological weapon. Doesn't that show that we need to take immediate measures and very strong measures against COVID so that like the next time there is like a legitimate biological weapon, it doesn't completely wipe out the Western world? Because the entirety of Western civilization showed its ass to the rest of the world. This is a massive, massive security risk. But because Americans are incapable of seeing the world beyond like their immediate zip code, they forget that like Australia exists, or South Korea, or Vietnam, or Singapore, or numerous other countries that literally dealt with COVID perfectly. Okay? As best as you can. So what's up? Yeah, I remember chat calling me a CCP plant like 10 times a day around peak pandemic. Yeah. It was a gain of function research. The convo now should be, is that type of research worth it? Of course that type of research is worth it, dude. What the fuck? What are you, not going to fucking research diseases in animals because you're worried that it's going to leak? No. What you're supposed to do is make sure that leaks like that never fucking happen. That is if that theory is correct. Okay? Yeah, brother, we can't be. We're literally destroying ecosystems at a rapid clip, okay? Animals that are normally not supposed to be around one another are being pushed into smaller and smaller ecosystems where they are interacting with one another, specifically bats, which have a crazy fucking metabolism. And what? We shouldn't study that because we're worried that, like, I don't know. We're worried that we're going to have lab leaks? Like, that's so psychotic. It wouldn't even be China punished. It would just be an update to the biohazard level 4 lab procedures around the world. Exactly. Exactly. If it turns out that it did leak from a Chinese lab, how do you think the U.S. should respond? Literally by doing nothing. By giving more money to these labs, which we do, which we gave money to the Wuhan lab as well, as because these sorts of disease research can only be conducted through international cooperation, because as we saw this past year, literally every epidemiologist has to work with one another when an epidemic turns into a pandemic, okay? That's how you should respond, by beefing up level 4 lab securities to prevent further breaches from happening.
Poggies.
I think the biggest part of the story is that it's 100% going to make the Americans trust in the government even worse than it is. It's going to turn more people into QAnon freaks. I mean, Fauci did lie, or am I misunderstanding? So Fauci already fucking lied about the masks originally, okay? And then he went back on it. And I don't know the exact like Freedom of Information Act request that came out with Fauci, but it's not as crazy as the way that people make it seem, obviously. Otherwise, it would be much, much larger news if like Fauci was literally like, you know, we have to make sure that, you know, we hide the truth about these labs. We just wanted to turn everyone homosexual by giving them vaccines. right? If it did leak from a lab from China, that's not the problem. It's the fact that they didn't tell anyone until it started popping up around the world. That's not even fucking true. They did tell people before it started popping up around the world. The biggest issue with the Chinese government and its mishandling was not limiting travel from outside of Wuhan until it was too fucking late. They didn't? Question mark. What do you mean they didn't? No, their cover up of this potential.
Let's go.
Their cover up of okay. Here's what happened. In Wuhan, there were some doctors that noticed patients that had pneumonia-like symptoms. Okay, so then they started in a WhatsApp group discussing potential ideas. One of them decided that this seems a lot like there might be a new COVID virus that's coming out. Or originally, I think they thought it was SARS.
Our favorite boomer.
I think it was on WhatsApp, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, they thought it was SARS, okay? So the Chinese government, or at least this is their fucking statement for it, decided to cover this up in a not dissimilar way to the United States government by literally fucking bringing in the doctor. That doctor died, by the way.
Gay prude.
That doctor literally died afterwards. But that's besides the point. It is SARS. I know, but they thought it was a... Okay. They didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Poggers.
Okay? They didn't know what the fuck was going on. They brought the doctor in, and then they released him afterwards. He died later. How do you defend China harder than any country? I don't. I don't defend China. I'm not defending China here either.
Isn't the proposed
if you think that me telling you exactly the sequence of events without like adding some fucking weird seasoning on top of it is defending China, then that's your problem and not mine. Okay?
4 months just saying this.
Obviously, apprehending a doctor and jailing them is insane. If you think that that's an acceptable thing, then you're out of your fucking mind.
8 months.
Not only that, but they apologized for it after. They apologized for jailing him after, or arresting the doctor afterwards, after he died. So it doesn't even fucking matter. Regardless, the reason why China claims they did not want to immediately fucking take action was because they did not want to create a state of panic. Now, regardless of whatever the fuck happened in Wuhan, and this is something I talk about, wasn't China saying it was under control as they put Wuhan on lockdown? Well, at that point, it had already released to the rest of the world. And even if you put people on lockdown, I love this take wherever people, say shit like, oh my God, well, you know, China's just sent people all around the world. It's like, what should they have done? And I asked this question back then. What should they have done? You think they could have just kidnapped American citizens and European citizens that were in the vicinity of Wuhan and stopped them from fucking traveling outside of the country? How do you think America would have responded to the 100,000 plus American expats living in China that were now not allowed to fucking travel back to their country? How do you think America would have responded in that situation, especially at a time when they literally didn't think COVID was real? Like, how would they have happened?
Sup.
Think about that for a second.
Up to $15 per hour this month, and I'm very hyped, Pogu.
And also, shouldn't you be fucking upset about our government knowing full well that this was a fucking devastating disease? Because we knew what was going on in Italy, not just China, which is a faraway land and that's fake. And, you know, everybody died in China, but also nobody died because it was a biological weapon that was only to kill Americans or some shit, whatever the fuck psychos believe. Then doesn't that literally fucking mean that our politicians were fucking assholes and knew how devastating COVID was going to be, and then turned around, got special briefings that were not available to the public, and told other friends of theirs, like rich friends of theirs, that like this was happening and you should make market moves immediately, while still simultaneously lying to the American public?
Hi.
Kelly Loeffler, Purdue, even Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein, if I'm not mistaken, took action too. So what's up? All these motherfuckers knew. They knew it was going to get bad. They took action. You know, shuffled their stocks, short hotels, and the tourism industry. Start putting money into mask makers and developers.
When you resub and you don't know if the title is Aussie like Australian or Aussie like austerity.
Great stuff.
Vacation Bible School moment.
I also remember you saying that if it was a relatively more deadly virus, America will be wiped out because of our lack of action, such a dangerous vulnerability that calls for more precaution than the blaming game. Exactly. I said it all the fucking time.
Let's go love me some piker.
So remember who to get fucking upset at in this situation. We know that the Chinese government is notoriously secretive and keeps shit under wraps all the goddamn time. We know that. We knew that this was a virus that had already eviscerated Italy. And yet, we did nothing. Our politicians literally kept lying to Americans while they themselves did everything they could to make money. Okay, so you admit it, lol? Wait, what? Admit what? That fucking the Chinese government is authoritarian as fuck and literally lie about shit regularly? Slash also jailed a doctor that originally talked about COVID? Yeah. It's not. Why do you think I'm like pro-China in that respect?
Have you seen the video with Grimes and Ashenko? They are weird.
It's just funny whenever people get fucking mad at this shit. It's funny whenever people get, people are like, oh, you admit it. You finally admit it. It's like, motherfucker, yeah, what do you want from me? You want me to lie?
But if people had found out in May of 2020 that Dr. Fauci was involved in funding this type of research, you think you would have had the same amount of trust to go on cable television? But they loved it because they put him and gave him hundreds of millions of dollars in free airtime in order to go up there because it was the perfect counter to Trump. It created this entire narrative. And around all of that, same with Russiagate. Russiagate is not a victimless crime. We live in a country more hawkish towards Russia than we were in 2015. You think that's a good thing? A dying petro-state while the Chinese are expanding all across Southeast Asia?
Yeah, you know? And by the way, I don't want another freaking pandemic, so let's figure out how this all happened.
That was Matt Taibbi dubbed Russiagate the next.
Okay, again, I don't understand. Okay, fuck Anthony Fauci. He's fired. So what changes? What changes about our dealing with this problem? There is no answer to that. This is what happens when you're just trying to fucking do like populist bullshit, dude. Like when you're just literally throwing out weird populist nonsense. Like this makes no sense. Like there is no. Are you playing word association right now? Okay, Anthony Fauci is fired in the beginning of the pandemic. So what? What happens then? Like, oh, Anthony Fauci funded the fucking Wuhan lab. Like, okay, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Dude, this is one of my favorite concepts. One of my favorite things that I hear from Republicans and just idiots in general is always like mentioning things that most people don't know and being fascinated by it like there's a bigger conspiracy. Like, they'll literally just like describe to you how normal processes work and then act like it's insider information that like no one else was privy to. It's like, dude, just because you don't fucking comprehend this or you didn't know about this, and then on top of that, you find it like suspicious or fascinating, doesn't mean that this is like not normal. And you have never ever in your life ever made that same kind of consideration on anything else. Like, ooh, it is really suspicious that there is an international community of scientists that fund scientific research on disease prevention. They even call themselves epidemiologists. Everybody, watch out. This is very suspicious. They're behind closed doors and talking about scientific research. Like, what's the conspiracy there? What is the conspiracy with, like, Anthony Fauci, a leading epidemiologist in the United States of America, funding fucking research on disease prevention? Like, you can say that like a fucking idiot and make it seem like this is really suspicious, but that's just how it works. That was one of your funniest impressions, in my opinion. Thanks for that. What?
I love you, Arjan.
I just don't understand. It's like, let me just use an analogy here. It's like, what's something I know about?
Still
like
waiting on that hot tube stream, Arjan Pogo.
It's like, here, I'll describe to you taxes. So, there's a group of individuals, some of which we have not even elected here in this country, that come and collect a certain percentage of the money that you've made every single year. And they come in and they take your money away from you. And then God knows what do they spend that money on. And there's a bunch of other people, some of which you didn't vote for, that get together in a closed room. Sometimes you can actually hear what they have to say about it and decide how to spend that money. It's very suspicious. It's like, no, it's not suspicious. You're a fucking idiot. That's just how taxation works. Like, you're describing a basic function, but putting like a scary conspiracy a spin on it. Okay? That's it. Like, that's you're implying that, like, you're assuming that other people don't know how this works, and a lot of people don't because they're dumb as fuck. And as a journalist or as a commentator, your duty is to educate people, okay, to a certain degree, instead of, like, you know, saying, ooh, look how spooky this is. Look how spooky it is. It's so spooky that, like, Fauci fucking funded a research institution. Funded a research institution that dedicates its funds and its research to preventing diseases. If that lab was in the fucking UK or Germany or some shit, no one would give a shit. It's literally just anti-Chinese sentiment being dragged out of nothing. Even when there are plenty of other points the Chinese government deserves to be criticized on.
21.
Why would any scientist / lab work with preventing future pandemics? It's just always the other thing that's like hilarious is like, okay, China, a lot of people died. Okay, if China immediately was like, this is SARS, we are fucking letting you know. Do you think America would have given a shit? Do you think we would have given a shit? Are you fucking stupid? Did you not live through COVID? Like, we knew what was going on in Italy. We didn't actually start taking action against COVID because of China. We started taking action against COVID even after we knew that it was eviscerating Italy, and we still didn't give a fuck, dumbass. The only reason why we had to take fucking action against COVID was because there were bodies piling outside of hospitals. Okay? There wasn't enough protective gear for nurses and doctors in said hospitals.
Go Italian hands.
He's saying if Anthony Fauci would have got fired, Trump would have been reelected. Why? Anthony Fauci's existence is nothing in this circumstance. Like nothing. Put another fucking liberal or a Republican on there. Actually, if you put a fucking Republican on there that was similar to like the other people that Trump brought on, there would even be more casualties. You are mixing up the timelines? No, I'm not. We knew what was going on in Italy, and even then we were not taking COVID seriously.
29 years. So happy. I remember the day you were born. You were all like goo goo gaga sees the means of production.
Type of research, you think he would have had the same amount of trust to go on cable television, but they loved it because they put him and gave him hundreds of millions of dollars in free airtime in order to go up there because it was the perfect counter to Trump. It created this entire narrative. And around all of that, same with Russiagate. Russiagate is not a victimless crime. We live in a country more hawkish towards Russia than we were in 2015. You think that's a good thing? A dying petro state?
I don't understand why he's like, dude, don't be hawkish towards Russia. What you should instead is be hawkish towards China. Like, I just like, it's so weird. Like, do you not have a consistent take on this? Like, how about don't be hawkish towards anyone? Like, I don't know.
Has Chud mustard.
I find it so strange. Like, don't be hawkish towards Russia. I agree.
While the Chinese are expanding all across of Southeast Asia.
Yeah,
you know,
and by the way, I don't want another freaking pandemic, so let's figure out how this all happened.
That was, Matt Taibbi dubbed Russiagate the next WMD. I actually think this might be worse than Russiagate in terms of the implication. I mean, sorry, this might be worse than Russiagate and might actually be the next WMD in terms of the policy implications of it. What
were the policy implications of it, dude? What a fucking hack. Dude, this is some hack ass shit, dude. I'm sorry. This is the most hack shit I've ever heard. Like, also, isn't Sagar like, I mean, he's literally one of those same ass like conservatives who, is he like anti-Iraq war now? I mean, I guess he's too young, so we will never know what his like opinion was back then. But the people that he loves, like Tucker Carlson, were literally fucking pro-Iraq war. So
was pushed at the time, the total and complete cover-up, the potent marriage.
He means it in the same way that the media lied about Iraq having WMDs. Yeah, I know. But the consequences of the media going along with the American propaganda machine lying about WMDs in Iraq was the Iraq invasion. Okay? The trillions of dollars spent, the millions of people that died as a consequence of that, the further destabilization of the Middle East. What would be different if the media was like, okay, it was a lab leak?
Okay,
that's my question to everyone here. My question to everyone here is, what would have changed? Because if the WMDs were covered appropriately, and the media was like, this is a fucking false narrative. Like, this is just completely made up to go to war with Iraq, which at the time, you know, people like Jank were saying.
Has left.
What would be different? Like, you think if we knew it was a lab leak, like, if we knew it was a lab leak, like, what would be different? You think Americans would believe in it? They don't even believe in COVID. Motherfuckers don't believe in COVID after Trump got it, dude.
It'd still be a reactionary monka-lib.
Sanctions, maybe. Why don't you see this? What does that change in regards to how we dealt with COVID? Nothing. Also, good luck putting sanctions on China when they control a gigantic chunk of our fucking manufacturing. Dumbass Americans with their dumbass fucking takes. You are so stupid. Okay, dude, yeah, you were going to put fucking sanctions on China in the midst of like toilet paper shortages, in the midst of mask shortages, dude. You fucking idiot. You stupid American hog pig fucker. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, sanction my ass, motherfucker. Yeah, let's just fucking sanction China in the middle of COVID. Meanwhile, people are fucking crying about not being able to make cars right now in America because we can't, we don't have enough silicone to develop microchips for vehicles. So what's up?
Wow, 1 year. Thank you for helping me.
Most of that comes from Taiwan and China.
Current events.
Can you imagine putting fucking sanctions on China, dude? Like, there's literally a chip shortage currently. Now imagine doing that in the middle of silicone, not cone. I did say silicone. What did I say? Am I wrong?
Bezos money time pretty cool.
It's silicon, not silicone. Okay, shut up, shut up, shut up. It doesn't matter. It's fine. You can pronounce it like that. Chess just being assholes.
Of patriotism with official lies from people in establishment that happened with WMD. We'll find out in the next 20 years. If we have another lab leak from gain of function, you know, God help us all, because we really could have, we might have been able to avoid it.
Yeah, dude. Let's shut down research, boys. Fuck it. Russiagate is not a victimless crime. We live in a country more hawkish to Russia. Do you think that's a good thing while the Chinese are expanding across Southeast Asia? Russiagate was bad because it wasn't called Chinagate. The funniest thing about the segment claiming that the media's failure to give legitimacy to the lab leak theory is as bad as WMD failures is it starts by Sagar citing the Wall Street Journal's reporting on long-buried intelligence by the U.S. government. In case you were wondering, what's truly motivating, here's Sagar in his own words.
I am not for like a multipolar world. And a lot of socialists that I've argued with, they are very comfortable and okay with multipolarity. I mean, they've laughed at me.
So what is that? So what does a multipolar
right? So
world
they've
like?
laughed at me when I'm like, God, we'll be doomed to Europe. And they're like, oh, well, in Europe they have healthcare. And I'm like, yeah, but they also have no say over the global affairs of the world.
What? The entire reason why Europe has, first of all, to say that Europe has no say over the global affairs of the world is about economic power. The European Union completely exists to stand side by side with the superpower that is the United States as another fucking as another entity that defends and promotes the existence of Western imperialist neoliberal capitalism. The reason why the European Union exists is straight up for that purpose. Okay.
Nice.
Without that, it would be so much worse. To say that Europe has no power is also insane. If Europe has no power, let's see what happens when they start normalizing relations with China. Okay? Let's see what happens. It's such a fucking dumb take, dude. I'm sorry. If Europe has no power, disband NATO. If Europe has no power, disband NATO and also start watching them, I don't know, normalize relations with China and start backing the Chinese horse on its affairs of hegemonic power, or its interest in cultivating hegemonic power. This is such a fucking dumb, like, American-centric and also idiotic take.
I want to write the affairs of the world, the rules of the road. I want to be the only blue water navy. I don't want the Chinese ruling the Straits of Malacca and the South China Seas, because I believe America, for me, it's about...
Why? So we should keep doing that instead? Is that why? This is a fucking incredible take, dude.
Yo.
China Seas, because I believe America, for me, it's about freedom. America and American citizens are less free with a global authoritarian superpower like China that is rising in the East. I am not for like a multipolar world.
To avoid the 60 seconds at the top of the hour.
Motherfucker said China shouldn't control the South China Sea. America should control it. Crystal's takes aren't this bad. No, she's not. I mean, he's basically giving the game away. He's saying that I don't want China to be the authoritarian superpower. I want America to be the authoritarian superpower as it is currently.
Pog GOP.
I realize almost every single one of the named authors in this increasingly influential lab leak paper is demonstrably batshit.
Pog.
This is one of them. Corona Chan, Sitrep Gifu Ken, neural transfection by the COVID-19 potential behavioral sequel. Jonathan Cooey thinks we need to halt vaccinations immediately and reject the efficacy of face masks. Dayu Zhang, an independent geneticist, is on Gab, and boy, does he have some thoughts. COVID-19 vaccines are weapons of mass destruction.
Company while walking to the bakery chat.
Likely that ballast for Trump is simply stopped midway and destroyed, and counterfeits were created by the Gateway pundit. Alejandro Sousa Escandon, a doctor, specifically a urologist in Spain, who also hates masks almost as much as he hates it when Spanish medical articles use barbarisms for English, like complex PSA, instead of translating them into English. What? He's mad about English being...
My mom.
Dan and Carl Sorokin are rather elusive, but they work for a company called Carl Sorokin LLC in some random town in Florida. Carl appears to... Some bonus content. Oh my god, this is so weird. This guy literally... Hold up. This guy actually has a Twitch stream, I think. Or no, a YouTube stream. He's like a streamer. God, he's a weeb, dude. You can't fucking trust a weeb doctor. What the fuck? Anyway. I mean, look, I don't care about the fucking paper that is raising questions, okay? The original paper that's going around that says, should we discount the laboratory origin of COVID-19? Published in 25th of March, 2021.
Left pointing finger. Sad face.
We're going to talk about the Fauci emails in a second.
Let's go.
WMD, weeb medical doctor. Weebs and anime will save the planet, dude. Cope with it. That's an editorial. It doesn't count as a paper. I still have no idea how fucking conservatives or weebs are the most annoying and weirdest weebs out there. So this is like speculative shit. One reason to cite about the COVID lab leak is that there's still no physical evidence of animal transmission, despite being able to find that shit out in the past relatively quick. Any chance to go back to the old banner or tone it down? I know it's so I normally wouldn't ask, but it's kind of affecting my attention for some reason. If you like it all good, I'll just keep trying to block it out. Yes. Block it out. Is it true that if you take a vaccine in America, they give you weapons? In West Virginia, yes. In West Virginia, if you are eligible, you can potentially win prizes. Some of the prizes happen to be rifles. Yeah, this is true. If you get vaccinated.
The US-centric view of these guys is BS.
I don't care about this quantum dream shit.
Of the universe.
Anyway, why does it even matter if it's from a lab or not? It literally doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything about our mishandling of COVID. It is just another way for people to be like, well, it was China. It was China. It was not our fault. It's like, motherfucker, it was literally our fault. Okay? It is China's fault originally for allowing COVID to spread. Okay? The top lab leakers are still kind of insane. Yeah, no, I know. I was just looking at that, RTBA. We were just looking at that. I can't even tell if this is a good thing or not. Will that really get Chuz to vaccinate? At least the ones on the edge?
You're right.
Okay, we'll look at that in a second. They didn't find the animal link for the original SARS either. It's difficult to find viruses when it's from nature and not factory farming. E.g., people still think someone fucked the gorilla to bring HIV into the world.
Do you think if COVID was
I thought it was originally eating the brain of a monkey,
would have taken it more seriously to lock down?
So it's not about blaming China. The lab in Wuhan is backed by the US and EU money. This is about knowing if our global strategy for researching future pandemics accidentally caused one. But it doesn't matter. What are you going to do? Fucking shut off funding? For like what, Chinese labs?
COVID shot in a couple of hours.
Okay, go ahead, go off, dude. If you think that shutting off funding for scientific research that literally works to prevent future pandemics and epidemics is the best way to go about this, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, you have a fucking caveman mentality on this. Who cares if we fucking funded it? What matters is how you prevent COVID once it's done, once it's spread.
Any chance you can share your chicken recipe?
How can you say it doesn't matter? It doesn't change anything about our prevention, okay, and our lack of preparedness for a pandemic like this.
Yeehaw.
And also, if your argument is to, like, I don't know, cut funding to a lab a virology institute that literally fucking works to prevent further pandemics from occurring, then you're stupid. Preventing a pandemic by starting a pandemic? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. People are so dense. I don't know if I will ever be able to. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get this, get people to understand what I'm trying to say here.
Months.
Okay. Boys. Accidents fucking happen. Okay. The whole purpose is so we move on, we adapt. Like, you have to low-key secretly believe that this was deliberate to be able to just, like, try to punish someone for it.
Has Sammy.
You can still do researches on disease outside of China. Clearly, they cannot handle the responsibility. People wide clap will handle the responsibility of disease research. China can't. Yeah, you're right.
China created secret alien puss in a lab.
See, this is the real reason why fucking there are baboons in my chat. It was deliberate. It helped smooth the Hong Kong transition to CCP authority. You mean, you know, taking ownership over Hong Kong, which was still Chinese territory and slated to be given fully to China by a certain date, but accelerated that procedure? Is that what you're saying? Is that actually your argument here? They released COVID into the fucking world and even killed a fuckload of their own citizens just so they could take over Hong Kong, which, you know, they already had. They already have it. But instead of getting it at, like, you know, 2040, whatever the fuck, they got it now. So we shouldn't investigate the origin? No, we should. It's not even confirmed that it's a lab leak, by the way. We are just having this argument over, again, pure speculation. But it isn't like the most insane theory.
RP frogs still love political takes hassle.
Can you listen to an opinion without debate lording? Yes, when it's like an opinion worth listening to. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm a fucking idiot. So maybe that's why I'm really good at spotting idiotic takes. But, like, your takes are not worthwhile. Like, you think that you crafted some really fucking sneaky shit, like, that no one else was able to see. And then you come in here and you fucking release it onto the chat like you're a bat fucking a pangolin, okay? Releasing your cummies into the fucking chat thinking you really did something. And no, I'm here to tell you, like, you're fucking dumb, okay? And I am too. A lot of us are. We're all fucking moronic baboons, okay?
I will not rest until my
but because you are an American, you have this, like, weird entitlement that, like, oh, my thoughts are really important by virtue of me having thought them. When that's not the case. So I'm here to tell you. So that's why you get very upset when I'm like, no, you're an idiot. And I call it like it is. Anyway, we're going to move on from this to the Fauci emails, which is like really big stuff, okay? The really big, scary Fauci emails. We got to see what's going on there. But before we get to that, there's a 6-second ad break that's coming, okay? You might not know how COVID started, but you do know
1 year next
that at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. And if you want to avoid those ad breaks, you already know how to do it. With a 60, with a fucking Twitch Prime for free.
Send Alex Jones to China to investigate, hoping he never returns.
Since you want to blame the U.S. for mishandling COVID, how would you have handled it? Dude, I've talked about this a million times over, okay? Just carbon copy. Just copy paste what fucking Korea did, okay? Boom. There you go. Or Australia. Ban travel. Actually fucking start quarantine measures immediately for everyone coming in from China and Italy and other COVID hotspots. And contact tracing right from the jump. Immediately figure out who the fuck has COVID and implement contact tracing measures, which is something we haven't been able to do. New Zealand did a great job.
Cheers.
Australia did a great job too. Anyway, here's the 1-minute ad break now. It's really not hard to do better than we did. Yeah, we did fucking incredibly poorly. Mask mandates, ban travel, quarantine. Why do people act like you have to be a genius to figure it out? We can literally copy everyone else. That's what I'm saying. It's like so fucking stupid. It's so stupid.
Honor and pleasure of having some of your emails, many of your emails released to the public over the last few days. And there have been questions or controversy, some ginned up, but some questions raised about some of them. And I want to get you on the record addressing some of them. There was an email sent to you from an executive at EcoHealth Alliance, and this is one of the companies that funded some of the research at the Wuhan lab. And this email thanked you for basically saying you believed that the origins of the coronavirus were natural. This email said, quote, I wanted to say a personal thank you on behalf of our staff and collaborators for publicly standing up and stating that the scientific evidence supports a natural origin for COVID-19 from bat to human spillover, not a lab release from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. That email was April 18th. Now, there are some of your critics who say this shows you have too cozy of a relationship with the people behind the Wuhan lab research. What do you say to that?
Oh, that's nonsense. I don't even see how they get that from that email. That email was sent to me from them. I have always said, and will say today to you, John, that I still believe the most likely origin is from an animal species to a human, but I keep an absolutely open mind that if there may be other origins of that, there may be another reason. It could have been a lab leak. I believe if you look historically, what happens in the animal-human interface, that in fact, the more likelihood is that you're dealing with a jump of species. But I keep an open mind all the time. And that's the reason why I have been public that we should continue to look for the origin. That email, in no way, you can misconstrue it however you want. That email was from a person to me saying, thank you for whatever it is he thought I said. And I said that I think the most likely...
Dude, the captions are translating it for lizard people. I know it, brother. Captions are trying to tell us this is a lizard person, brother. What the fuck?
Origin is a jumping of species. I still do think it is, at the same time as I'm keeping an open mind that it might be a lab leak.
There was an email on April 16th, an email exchange between you.
I don't know how to fucking, what the fuck? Postmates receipts are now coming into my primary. I want to move that to fucking updates. Oh, I just did it. Never mind. You could just drag and drop on Gmail.
You and NIH Director Francis Collins, the email sent to you said conspiracy theory gains momentum. And this, again, was the idea of the lab leak. Those emails, though, as you can see on the screen, or I can see on the screen, was all redacted between you and Francis Collins. Do you happen to remember?
You know,
do you remember what was in the email?
John, they only took about 10,000 emails from me. Of course, I remember. I remember all 10,000 of them. Give me a break.
Glad to have been
But to be clear, you're saying you don't remember. You can't tell us what was in the body of that exchange.
I don't remember what's in that redacted, but the idea, I think, is quite far-fetched that the Chinese deliberately engineered something so that they could kill themselves as well as other people. I think that's a bit far out, John.
I mean, not really. It's Orientalist as fuck. They think that, like, China has a lot of bodies and they don't give a fuck. Like, they just don't care. Like, the Chinese government doesn't care about its own citizens or whatever, as opposed to the American government, which certainly cares about its own citizens, boys. I mean, when I think about America, I think about a government that cares about its own citizens, you know? I can't even say that shit with a straight face, dude. We don't even have a health care, dude. At least the Chinese government cares enough. At least the Chinese government cares enough to just fucking build, like, you know, high-speed rail and shit.
Has mods.
I work as an aerospace engineer, and Chinese technology is just not up to par, and they don't care about certain regulations. A big problem regarding Chinese space debris. You can ask them around if you want. That's why it doesn't surprise me that the virus could have escaped from a lab. I know the U.S. isn't perfect either, but they're better at least. Okay, dude. Except the protocols on space, debris is not handled in the similar. Is not handled by a similar fucking governing body. That works. You're extrapolating something from your supposedly field of expertise, and you're bringing it onto something else that is otherwise controlled by an international body.
And then finally, there was an email from you to Sylvia Burwell, the former HHS secretary, that had to do with masks. And this is getting a great deal of attention. And the date here is February 5th, which I think is hugely important. She apparently had asked you whether she should wear a mask on a trip. And you responded to her concluding, I do not recommend that you wear a mask, particularly since you are going to a very low risk location. That was February 5th. Right. A lot has transpired since then. If you had to go back and do it all over again, would you tell her something different? Do you regret that?
Yeah. Well, you know, John,
I work in an industry that China has too, and I don't speculate about shit that's unrelated like that guy. Oh, God. Do you work at Raytheon, motherfucker? Raytheon Esports.
Let's get real here. If you look at scientific information as it accumulates, what is going on in January and February, what you know as a fact, as data, guides what you tell people and your policies. If March, April, May occur, you accumulate a lot more information and you modify and adjust your opinion and your recommendation based on the current science and current data. So, of course, if we knew back then that a substantial amount of transmission was asymptomatic people, if we knew then that the data show that masks outside of a hospital setting are actually do work when we didn't know it then. If we realized all of those things back then, of course, you're asking a question, would you have done something different if you know what you know now?
I mean, yeah, no shit. I'm sorry, but that's such a fucking stupid, like... First and foremost, of course, hindsight is 2020. But the problem here with what the fuck Mr. Antonio Fauci's doing here is abdicating responsibility that he personally had to push more, push the Trump administration more, I guess. I mean, we can talk endlessly about whether he had the capability or not, or whether he actually tried to push for it. and wasn't able to get anything done on the back end. But the reality is we did know a lot. And we straight up, like, the administration didn't do anything. So there was more. I mean, the admin didn't listen to him regardless. Yeah, I know.
Of course people would have done that. That's so obvious.
So let's go to the top person in search for facts. The director of the National Institutes of Health, Dr.
Oh, yeah, a bioweapon expert. Well, it wasn't a bioweapon expert. It was Michael Osterholm. This is something I talk about a lot. Look at the date on this. March 10th, 2020. I remember watching this together with all of you guys. This was one of the, this was like mind-boggling for me. This person is now on Joe Biden's like COVID response team. Like, Michael Osterholm is a legit he's a legit scientist. Joe Rogan was ahead of the curve. He was ahead of mainstream media having this dude on his show. Joe Rogan was also ahead of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan now is entirely different than Joe Rogan back then with his takes on COVID. Bro, the Senate, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. Senate parliamentarian issues bombshell ruling that Democrats only get one more chance to sidestep GOP this year. Hey, guess what, dude? Fuck the Senate parliamentarian, okay? She can suck my cock. How about that, Senate parliamentarian? Suck my dick from the back. And also to the Democrats, suck my dick from the back as well if you think that, like, you have no other option or you can't engage in the multitude of different ways to deal with this problem. Like, fire the fucking Senate parliamentarian and appoint a new one into that position that is, more sympathetic. Your sexism is showing? Oh, yeah. So is my cock from the back as she sucks it. Okay? Jesus Christ, dude. We'll talk about this in a little bit, though. I'm in the middle of something else. You sound like a person of the future in the movie Idiocracy? Yeah, dude. I guess. It's Pride Month. Equal opportunity cocksuckers here, folks. Straight up.
Back.
I will stand on all fours, okay? As the Senate parliamentarian milks me like I'm a goddamn cow from the back. These fucking idiots, dude. This shit makes me so mad. Senate parliamentarian. Like, shut up, dude.
Francis Collins. It's good to have you on Primetime, Doc.
Glad to be with you, Chris, and glad to talk about what really happened here as best we know it, which still leaves a lot of gaps.
What's up?
I want to get into that morass. Let me just take one step back.
What up, Jordan?
The idea of the Chinese having viruses come from bats that make their way into the rest of the world and make people sick, even in America, is not new. Why have we, nor any kind of consortium, ever done anything about that fact before now?
Well, goodness, we knew, go all the way back to when SARS emerged almost 20 years ago, that came from a bat that got transferred ultimately through a civet cat to humans and took the lives of a few thousand people. So we knew that was a serious issue. MERS came along a bit later, same thing, except it was a camel that was the intermediate host. So we at the National Institutes of Health had to be concerned about that. Global health doesn't really care about country boundaries with the way things travel around the world. We had to be interested in knowing, well, what other viruses are lurking in bats in caves in China? Because that seemed to be where
But nobody
the
ever
was.
cracked
We
down on
probably
them.
wouldn't have done.
Nobody ever cracked down on them. I find
Like
that...
what? Like how, dude? Crack down on them how? What do you mean by this, you fucking dumb himbo? Crack down on what? The bats, dude? What are you going to do? Stop eating fucking animals? Stop destroying ecosystems? Is that what you're going to do? Because I don't think so, because there's not a lot of protein, and pea protein tastes like shit. You're going to keep eating animals? What does this take? Like, oh my God. No knock warrant on the bat? Like, what does he want to do?
Curious, is that just politics? Was it being afraid of what China would do in response? Why not?
Well, there was a lot of criticism of how China squelched the information about SARS when that happened. Go back and look at those reports. Clearly, they were not transparent about what was happening, and the virus got spread to other places in ways that maybe could have been prevented. So, yeah, there was quite a bit of criticism.
I'm just saying criticism.
Recognition that those
criticism wasn't enough, is all I'm saying. Because what we have now is, obviously under President Trump, you had the CDC cut its staff there by about 2/3, so you didn't even have eyes on the ground. And that leads us to our...
If there's one thing that gets Americans going, American liberals, American libs going, harder than like shitting on Donald Trump, it's shitting on a competing superpower that has made tremendous gains in its endeavors of becoming the hegemonic power around the world, i.e. China. So that is the only reason why we're no longer saying like Trump is orange man bad, orange man bad. Actually, it's fucking China man bad. Orange man also bad, but China is the worst. Okay? That's where we're moving towards right now.
Current problem with contagion, which is where this started. Now, is it a fair criticism to say that you were dismissive of the lab theory early on and that now you are more open to it? And if it is fair, why did you change?
It's not entirely fair, Chris. You know, when this virus first emerged, all of us at NIH were deeply engaged in studying its genome, its letters in its sequence to try to understand what its connection was with previous viruses. And we could see it was a bat virus that looked a lot like one that had been found in a cave in China 7 or 8 years earlier, but it had a lot of differences. Then the theory began to be put forward. Well, maybe it's human engineered. Maybe it's an intentional bioweapon that has been put together with the intention of killing people. That theory really didn't hold up. You could look at the letters of the RNA code and say, no human would have come up with this. That was rather widely spread. The idea that it might have been an accidental leak from the lab, on the other hand, always seemed sort of a dark and unfortunate idea, but not one you could rule out. And today we cannot rule that out. And we know there have been other instances, including in China, where leaks have happened by accidents.
But why are you more opening? Why are you guys calling for an investigation into it now? And just to be fair, you know, even on Fox News, one of the guys was interviewing you about this, and you said, look, I reject the bioweapon part. And, you know, you were told this isn't about a bioweapon. It's just about it happening in a lab. Why are you more open to that suggestion now? Do you think you'll ever know the answer?
I would not say I'm significantly more open than I was last summer when we began to worry about that as a real possibility. But there was so much swirl going on in other areas that probably didn't come to attention. I didn't go to a microphone and announce that. Do I think we'll ever know the answer? Well, we really need an evidence-based, expert-driven investigation. That's going to require China to be willing to let investigators look into the lab records, find out what happened.
Yo, how is this any different than like what fucking Trump was trying to do? Like, just don't focus on like, you know, the lack of mask mandates, the lack of fucking contract tracing. It just straight up like, oh, dude, it was a lab leak. Okay, it was a lab leak, dude. Okay, so what? Like, we need to clean up our fucking rooms. In the words of the great esteemed, honorable Jordan Peterson, like, we got to clean up our fucking rooms, dog. Our rooms are dirty as fuck. It's just so stupid. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how we're just like not talking about the actual issues. I strongly disagree with the Biden administration on their global vaccine rollout. We should help our allies first instead of letting third party decide where the vaccine should go. Since there are not enough vaccines, should we help India or Iran? We should help India first. Wait, what? What?
Poggers.
Yo, I hate this country, dude. Like, straight up.
Fucking Porgo, my boys.
What the fuck, dude? This guy, what a freak, dude. Fuck you. Oh my god. Actually, fuck you. Like,
not a lot of protein in plants? You kidding me right now, Hasan? You inform yourself and seek the truth on everything else. Why do you still ignore the realities of animal ag? Bad take.
and just like, you're being anti-Asian. It's nuts. Read his follow-up tweets. We lost that moral high ground the moment we decided to prioritize America's first when it came to vaccines. Now we need to make sure American interests are protected first. I just don't understand, like, how you could fucking say... How you could say, like, how you could understand that it was the bad thing to do to prioritize American lives and then double down and be like, so now we just got to keep doing it. We got to keep doing bad things. David Dole apart from the obvious humanitarian issue, since you can't apparently don't care about that, have you considered that giving vaccines to countries that the U.S. government is in conflict with may actually help towards alleviating those tensions? Another great take from him. We need to vaccinate everyone from a science perspective. Doesn't matter if you vaccinate 5 million people in North Korea or 5 million people in Japan. We need to do both. But there are not enough COVID-19 vaccines, so we should help our allies first, just like we helped Americans first. Why is he doing this? What is this, like some wild fucking rebranding for him or something? He's like, also, aren't these the very same people who keep saying like China's doing vaccine diplomacy? China is in a unique position because of its biodiversity and other factors, so it has a lot of responsibility to not be cringe with animals. Yeah, I know. We've talked about this before. I liked when you hung out with a lesbian in her Tesla. What? How the fuck is it a controversial take for him? Why would the U.S. not help its allies first? How do you not comprehend that this is a controversial fucking take? Are you dumb? Do you not recognize that, like, giving these vaccines over to COVAX rather than engaging in vaccine diplomacy is the more ethical thing to do that the United States government is like accidentally engaged in? Beyond that, we already are distributing the vaccines earlier to our at least not our allies per se, but countries that are in our immediate vicinity, like Latin American countries, which is understandable to do.
Pog.
We should give those to other countries that American Republicans don't want. At the very least, it's a contradicting take. There's no scientific difference. Why would it matter if we share it with allies first? Yeah. Iran should stop its terrorism if it wants the vaccine. Huh. Interesting. Interesting take there. Maybe we I love conservatives too, so this is fucking great. Anyway, what did I say to Ted Lieu? I totally forgot what the fucking what my response was. Did we ratio him or not? Were we able to ratio him? Damn, dude, get those numbers up, chat. You would make them go absolutely lose their minds? Pathetic, dude. We got fucking 40,000 people in here. Almost. Have we looked into that guy who played Boy Tarzan who died in a plane crash with his freakish wife who started an anorexia religion? What? How do you feel about the fact that they're giving more likes and swipes on Tinder and Bumble? If you've gotten the vaccine, is this not insane to you? I think they should ban you if you haven't gotten the vaccine and don't have like an actual medical condition. I think they should ban you from Bumble and Tinder, not just like show you less likes or whatever. Oh yeah, I know he's gonna do a summer tour. I know. He's doing it. He's back. Oh, fuck yes, dude. Urgent coded message regarding CPAC. What? America serve? Jesus.
Go Hossy.
I mean, if you're an anti-vaxxer and you like post it on your fucking Tinder profile, or if you post like MAGA or some shit on your Tinder profile, like you're never gonna get pussy anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like maybe it's different in like southern states, but I fucking doubt it. And to be honest, like you don't deserve it anyway, so fuck you. Yeah, I said it. And then you can go cry about it in one of your many different outlets about how like women don't want to fuck you because you're an unfuckable nerd.
Yo.
Anyway, all right. Wait, hold on. Let me just let's get to Steven Crowder. Do-si-do. Do-si-do.
Let's look at all major historical gay. You look at milk.
Yeah.
You look at. I mean,
the one you drink or the one.
No, you look at having milk.
Harvey?
You look at people. You look at Dallas. These are people with AIDS.
Yeah.
These are people. Look, I think that if we want people to be happy, you say, well, that shouldn't be an example.
Yeah.
Pick the domesticated Dave Rubin and make him your ambassador. I just like, and I don't like. Look at the. I'm just saying, you're not pointing to great examples because it's not about what we used to want to do with children was encourage them, right? Guide them toward the kind of behavior.
Domesticated gays like Dave Rubin? Damn, dude. Dave Rubin is such a cuck, dude. Are we going to ignore his costume? I mean, I'm kind of bummed because it's like cool. Like, that is actually the coolest thing he's ever worn. This fucking nerd constantly wearing, like, you know.
Wow.
What is the argument? Like, he's saying that, like, gay people got AIDS, so they're a bad example, so we shouldn't use them? Like, you're bad if you...
Your birthday is next month, Big 3-0. What do you want for your B-Day?
Wait. Like, you're a bad person if you got AIDS? What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Straight people notoriously immune to AIDS. Is he wrong though? Okay, dude, here, you asked for it. There you go. Is he wrong though? Here, I fucking permanently banned you, idiot. Jesus Christ.
Steve Crowder is so white the only blackheads he's seen in person are stuck in his nose.
If you have, dude, yeah.
Reactionary.
I also hate people with MS, dude. Imagine fucking having a disease, dude. Imagine having a sickness, dude. You're a bad person automatically.
So happy I found this community. Hassle.
Wonder if he thinks like COVID is the same thing. You're like a bad person if you got COVID. You're a bad example if you catch an STD from reckless, unprotected sex. Stay safe, y'all. I think what's really sad about a lot of pathetic American dweeb losers in here in the chat is that they have no knowledge of like what the AIDS epidemic looked like, right?
Hassie, you are
and like how little information was out there at the time. And like, and why it was so rampant and destroyed. Why it destroyed the gay community specifically, and partially the reason why it targeted the gay community and also the black community was the reason why the government did not really deal with it or take appropriate measures. I know this motherfucker likes Queen with no hint of irony. Apply how we knew and felt in the beginning of COVID to AIDS.
Been a year, love you, keep doing you, hassle.
Like, what are you supposed to do, dude? No, like be born with the knowledge of a fucking disease that no one understood at the time, with no one educating you on these like important prevention measures. Like, what was the problem? Oh, dude, imagine not literally having the fucking hindsight, dude. Knowing what we know now, so dumb. Over the last 25 years, this is from 2006, AIDS has caused more American deaths than World War II and all subsequent military conflicts combined. In the United States, 40,000 people are infected with HIV each year, and an estimated 1 million are already living with the disease. AIDS has greatly impacted the medical community.
That would create the most content, fulfilled, and productive.
Conservatives who refuse to fucking wear masks to stop disease from spreading are over here being like, did you just ban a guy for promoting safe sex? You think that was what that guy was doing? He said you're a bad person if you get AIDS because you didn't practice safe sex, as though like that's the only way or that's the only reason why so many people fucking died. Are you that stupid? Why'd you ban that guy, he says. Do you want one too? Here, take a week off and think about it. Idiot. I love this argument that like conservatives, as I was saying, you literally got two chatters mixed together. What? No, I didn't. Who did I fucking ban that was not the right person? Don't read my comments. I'm a gray name. Why'd you ban that guy? He was just being homophobic in Pride Month. Come on, bro. I thought Pride was supposed to be accepting of all ideas, including homophobia. Anyway, Let's keep going.
Member of society. Now it's about making sure that they have the greatest awareness of the most marginalized victims.
Holy shit, you banned for nothing? My God. First of all, I give a week vacation to that other person. And secondly, I banned the other person for literally saying that you're a bad person for not practicing safe sex measures during the time of the AIDS epidemic in America. As we were talking about the AIDS epidemic in America. I think I'm going to give you at least a day off. Okay, there you go. I didn't even hear what his fucking follow-up was.
Victims. That's why they're not picking the Buzz Aldrin of the gay community. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No.
I don't even know who he is. Maybe it's Buzz Aldrin.
Although it's certainly not the first guy to take a rocket to the moon. I should stop. Are we thrown off?
We're fine. No,
we're off of YouTube now. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we're totally clear here.
All right.
No.
You are mean sometimes? Yeah, I know. I think I have to be, boys. I'm sorry.
FB catch.
I'm sorry. Fauci deserves to be under criminal investigation. I kind of don't want to cover this more. You banned Swaggy P and Chronic Procrastinator. No, Chronic Procrastinator was like the guy who was trying to get banned, which was, he said, is he wrong though to Steven Crowder saying that people with AIDS are bad? And then I banned this other person who said, you're a bad example if you catch an STD from reckless, unprotected sex. Yeah, I banned that person. While we were literally talking about fucking... While we were talking about, Jesus Christ.
14 months, wow.
While we are talking about gay people getting AIDS during the AIDS epidemic, and this person is saying that, like, you're a bad example if you catch STD from reckless, unprotected sex. That is literally the same take that Steven Crowder is making right now. How are you guys having a hard time comprehending that that is literally the exact same fucking take that Steven Crowder just made there?
Pog hassle.
Okay?
This stream is not a democracy, it is a dictatorship and has its...
Anyway.
No.
How is recommending safe sex bad? That's not a recommendation of safe sex. When you're saying you're a bad example as a gay figure if you had reckless, unprotected sex and got AIDS. Jesus fucking Christ. No one is a bad person for getting HIV. You fucking dumbasses. What the fuck is wrong with you? What kind of leftist community is this? Why are you this way? Please fix your fucking brains.